Hello guys, welcome back. We got a great likes and subscription and views from our last video. So in this video, as our subscriber said, we are going to make a video about gravitation. Gravity Gravitation is a natural phenomenon by which all things with mass or energy, including planets, stars, galaxies, and even light, are brought toward. On Earth, gravity gives weight to physical objects, and the moon's gravity causes the ocean tides. The gravitational attraction of the original gaseous matter present in the universe caused it to begin coalescing, forming stars, and for the stars to group together into galaxies. So gravity is responsible for many of the large-scale structures in the universe. Gravity has an infinite range, although its effect becomes increasingly weaker on other objects. Gravity is most accurately described of general theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein in 1913, Albi, which describes gravity not a force, but as a consequence of the curvature of spacetime caused by the uneven distribution of mass. The most extreme example of this curvature of spacetime is a black hole, from which nothing, not even light, can escape once past the black hole's event horizon. However, for most applications, gravity is well approximated by Newton's law of universal gravitation, which describes gravity as a force which causes any two bodies to be attracted to each other with a force proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. The formula to calculate gravity on Earth is G, as known as gravitation, is equal to Gm by r square. G is equal to universal constant of gravitation, which is nothing but 6.7 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square, and m is equal to mass of the object, and r r is the radius of the object or the Earth in which you are measuring it. The earliest instance of gravity in the universe, possibly in the form of quantum gravity, supergravity, or the gravitational singularity, along with the ordinary space and time, developed during the Planck epoch, possibly from a primal state such as a Fell's vacuum, quantum vacuum, or virtual vacuum. Gravity is one of the weakest force of the four fundamental forces of physics. It's actually the weakest force of all. It is approximately 10 to the power of 38 times weaker than the strong force. It is 10 to the power of 36 times weaker than the electromagnetic force, and it is 10 to the power of 29 times weaker than the weak force. As a consequence, it has no significant influence at the level of subatomic particles. In contrast, it is a dominant force at the macroscopic scale and is the cause of formation, shape, and trajectory of astronomical bodies. For example, gravity causes the Earth and the other planets orbit to the Sun. It also causes the Moon to orbit the Earth and causes the formation of tides. The formation and evolution of the solar system and stars and galaxies are formed due to gravity. Actually, when we throw an object, it always comes down because to the gravity. We can see in this image that force of gravitation on Earth is equal to G. G is the universal constant of gravitation, and m is the mass of the Earth, m in the sense, and mm is the mass of the object divided by r square is equal to radius square of Earth, and yeah, and this is known as the tides cause 2 due to the moon influence of moon's gravitational. And we also see that force of gravity on Earth is equal to negative force in the third law. The Earth's gravitational force is causing the moon to accelerate towards the moon, and gravitational is one of the weakest, most as I said. Gravity, the The gravity between two objects is calculated by g into mass, gravitational g. Bigger g means mass of an object into mass of the object, and multiplied by another mass of it means that g mm by r square, where g is the universal constant of gravitation, m is mass of m1 is mass of an object, m2 is mass of another object, and r square or d square is the distance between them. And that's the formula to calculate the force between two objects. A discrepancy in Mercury's orbit pointed out flaws in Newton's theory. By the end of 19th century, it was known that its orbit showed light perturbations that could not be accounted for entirely an unusual theory, but all searches for another perturbing body had been fruitless. The issue was resolved in 1915 by Einstein's Albi's general relativity, which accounts for small discrepancy in Mercury's object. In our solar system, Earth's gravitational force is Earth's gravitational force is 9.8 meter per second square. Jupiter's gravitational force is 26 meter per second square, which is the highest, and the lowest is Moon's or Mercury's. Let's talk about the general relativity. In general relativity, the effects of gravitational are as described to space-time curvature. Instead of the force, the starting point for the general relativity is equivalence principle. Okay guys, we have ended the video over here. This is everything about gravity. I'll be saying more about the gravitational in our future videos. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe and comment.